Kempisch Canal in Belgium is legendary amongst European carp anglers. It runs for almost 60 kilometres and is one of 7 canals linking the rivers Meuse and Scheldt. In early September 2025, I'd arranged to make my first ever trip to the canal, joining fellow Avid Carp team members Kenny Hubens and Ricardo Costa for a 10-day session which would hopefully see us holding some of the famous carp the canal is known for. The plan was to fish short sessions on different sections as we searched for the fish, beginning the trip on what can only be described as one of the most blustery nights of the year so far. Check that out. Belgian waffles, the Kempisch Canal, 2 Belgian legends.
I'm Dutch.
Well, 1 Dutch legend. And some monster carp. And some mega conditions as well. Because that is perfect big carp conditions. Light drizzle, bit of wind, pretty low pressure. What is it, just over 1,000? It is, isn't it?
2011, I think.
2011, is that right? And we've got all that oxygen being pumped in down there at one of the locks. Look at that. What are you saying, Kenny? We're going to catch?
Let's hope. This week? Yeah, definitely.
What about this spot?
This spot?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think one.
You've already seen one, haven't you? You saw
I
one.
saw a fish jumping. It was a small fish, but it gives confidence.
Yeah, too right, mate. That's what I like to hear. I'll tell you what, there's got to be carp down here looking at that. Just look at the amount of oxygen that's getting pumped out there. That is such a mega feature. And we're going into my first evening on the Kempisch Canal. And I'll tell you what, it looks absolutely beautiful. It really does. Couldn't have asked for better conditions. And you can see straight down the canal there. I don't know if you can see that white bridge in the distance, but that is virtually the end of the section, and somewhere down there is a 28 kilo fish. So a big carp that is. That's a 60 pounder. You can just see above my bivvy there, got a lamp as well, so it's going to be a bit of a bright evening down here, but pretty atmospheric as well. Right, that's where I'm set up. That's my current bivvy position. And the wind is getting very strong. It's really picking up. And I don't know if you can hear it in the trees down there. It's going to get stronger this evening as well. That's where Kenny's set. So I'm just going to turn this lamp on, and you can see there's some of these trees behind me here. These are a little bit dodgy in this wind, I think. You've got to make sure you're safe when you're on the bank, and that tree there definitely does not look too good. So even this late in the dark, I think I'm going to end up moving my bivvy because I just don't fancy getting woken up by that. But just here to the side of where Kenny's set up, just here looks a little bit better, apart from Kenny snoring. But you can see there's no trees behind there. So, well, there's one tree there, but you know, I think I'm definitely going to be safer if I just move it a little bit to the side. I mean, I've got this sign here as well, which, you know, that sign there, which will give me a little bit of protection, I think. So yeah, it's late in the evening now. I don't fancy a move, but I'm going to do it just for my own safety. Definitely the right thing to do. Something that you probably wouldn't do if you was younger, but as you get older, you get a little bit more wise. I mean, look, you can see the size of that tree. It's absolutely massive. If that comes down on me, it's wobbling like anything there. Yeah, I definitely need to move just a little bit down, just to be safe. Well, we've just heard the first tree come down in the wood behind us, so yeah, we've definitely made the right decision to not fish tonight because it's really, really blustery. And at the moment I'm not on an external mic, I'm on a mic that's clipped to my jacket, so you probably can't hear it as much. But it is very, very windy at the moment, very, very blustery, and with trees around us that are quite old, it's just not worth the risk. You know, it's only carp fishing at the end of the day. And I remember being at Carp Talk doing stories to do with people fishing next to trees that's come down and flattened the bivvies, and luckily they weren't in them. And I think Andy Chambers was in France many years ago, and the tree came down very close to his bivvy. He just missed his bivvy, and he was still alive, thankfully. And I remember also a story, again in France, and it's all these old trees that you get around lakes. They're the ones you've got to be careful of. Another one where a bivvy got absolutely flattened. So, yeah, we're not fishing tonight, it's not worth it. So, those trees behind us, we're leaving the bivvies up though, so those trees behind us, if they come down tonight, at least we're safe. We've found a spot in the car park where the cars are away from trees, and we're just gonna hide ourselves in there for the night. So, see you in the morning. Good morning. Different morning today as well. The weather's a lot different. Still a little bit breezy, but certainly not as stormy as it was yesterday. And last night we just could not sleep on the bank right next to those really old trees. So we just kept in the car and didn't catch anything, because left the rods out because it wasn't too far away from where we were fishing. And then what we've done is just packed up this morning, and we're going to a new place. So Kenny reckons we've got a better chance at this new place. Now, the area that we've just been to, if he's a regular here obviously, so I'm guided by him, but he said if we was going to catch, we'd have caught something last night. So that's why we've moved, and we're going somewhere else, because these canals, you know, the fish are so mobile. Although there might be one or two resident fish in the area, he thinks that the majority of the fish that are catchable aren't in that area. So giving it 24 hours with nothing, it's time to move. So that's what we're doing now. And conditions today are still pretty good though. The weather is still a little bit breezy, but not as stormy as it was. Let's have a look at what this new area is like and see if that's worth doing a couple of days there. So let's go and get set up, and I'll talk you around what it's like. So here's a look at the new swim then. It's a bit more urban than the previous one, with a busy road and a cycle path right next to where I'm set up. And this is the area that Kenny calls his baited spot, because he's been feeding here for quite a few years now, and he fishes it most weeks. And I'm set up to the right, just to the right of the bridge, and Kenny's set up to the left. He's on a rocky spot where he's caught some nice fish from in the past, so he's pretty confident fishing there. And what we're going to do is just going to do a night here and see how it goes. And if we don't catch tonight, then what we'll do is we'll just feed it, move somewhere else for the night, and then return here 24 hours later. So yeah, it looks good, feeling confident, and it's nice to try somewhere different again. Right, Kenny's just said something that's really interesting. He's just asked me, have you noticed which way the water is flowing at the moment? And I've turned around and said, well, the ripple on the surface, which you can see, is flowing from left to right, so you can see the debris on the surface moving left to right. And he's just turned around and said, well, the water's going the other way. And what's the reason behind that then, Kenny?
Because there's a boat coming from the left, and it's pushing the water in front of him. So the current is pushed the other side for a couple of minutes. And when the boat passes, then the current will flow the normal way again.
So you notice that without even looking for a boat.
Yeah.
You just notice it by looking. Basically, the current on the water is normally right to left. Okay, but he's just noticed that the current is going the other way because there's a boat coming and it's pushing the water all the way down. Does that push the carp down as well then?
We know carp follows boats, so
yeah,
it's definitely possible that the carps are also pushed the other way.
Mm.
But we also know that carps on the canal like to feed upstream.
Right.
I don't know why. Is it because it's easier to feed because of the current will push their heads down. I don't know, but it's well known that they feed more upstream than
downstream. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we also know is that it's going to move our leads.
Probably.
We've just learnt that from the last couple of boats that's come through here, so prepare to redo the rods. Have a look at that lot. I've got a 6 ounce lead on and I've got a 2.5 ounce back lid on as well. But that is the result of one of those massive boats coming through. It's basically picked it up from in line with that sign on the far bank and it's moved the whole lot under the bridge. That is some serious backflow that's been caused by those engines. Definitely need to redo it after the boats have been through. It's picked it up from roughly where that sign is and it's carried it all the way under the bridge. So it's definitely created some disturbance as it's come through the swim. Just as Kenny said, so I definitely need to redo the rods every time a boat comes through. We've been here for 4 nights now, just coming up to the 4th night, and this is the first proper bite we've had. So it's been tough going, trying to find a carp, get on the fish. We've come to a spot that Kenny fishes quite a lot. Right under the bridge, and we've got a bite, which is great.
It gives confidence.
Yeah, a few more nights left of the trip, and Kenny says this is his big fish spot as well, so let's hope. See what we've got out there. You can see the line.
It's going all the way.
There's a bit of weed dangling off the line there. Don't know if you can see it. One thing you've got to be careful of in the dark is the bikes coming down here. There's a bike coming, you can see that in the distance as I walk across. Right, I'm just going to get Kenny's landing net. Again, look out for the bikes. Does it feel a good fish, mate?
Yeah, it feels like it. It's not tired at all, mate. He keeps going. It's definitely a possibility.
Bikes going past, speeding past. They're so fast, these bikes.
Yeah, those are the speed pedelecs I told you about.
Yeah, they're mad. All right, you can see the weed there. You can hear the doves. There's the doves up there. You can hear them talking to us under the bridge. Very atmospheric.
I still going to the other side again. Oh, there it is. Look.
Yeah, yeah. I can actually see the ripple over the far side. The other thing you've got to be careful of here is poking your landing net out onto the path as the bike goes past.
Yeah.
There's Kenny's bivvy. And these bikes are going past here all the time. Straight through the spokes, head over the handlebars. Right, we've got a good fish on here. Feels like a good one anyway.
I didn't see it at all at this moment, so.
No, it's a good fight though.
Real good fight.
Yeah. You can see it down there. See the weed. Can't see the fish yet.
Come over here, mate.
Okay.
Oh, it's proper fish.
Yeah. Good.
Proper fish.
Good.
Maybe we can scoop it here, mate. Because here are some. Maybe it's. Hey, maybe it's. Look.
Oh yeah, that's a giant, mate. That is a really good fish. That's a really good fish.
Yeah.
That is a really good fish, mate.
Oh,
man. Let's have a look at it properly. Awesome carp.
Dat is bij mensen nog zo, hè. De ene net een dikkere boek dan de andere.
Zijn zij giftig?
Yeah, I think it's, ja. Ik denk dat het een meisje is, een vrouwetje, ja. But it's a pretty big mouth, mate.
Yeah, it's a big mouth.
Proper Kempisch Canal carp, 48.5 pounds. I'm so happy with it. Oh, you can't imagine. Look at this fish. What a coming.
Okay. Kenny's in again. And his right hand rod has roared off.
It was a real hard. Woo. He went here.
One toner.
One toner. Yeah.
Proper one toner.
You just said 10 minutes ago, I think we made the right decision to come here.
Yeah, definitely.
You're right, mate. You definitely did. Don't think it's a 40 pounder, but mid-30s?
Yeah.
Definitely. Pretty white.
Yeah, mate.
Pretty white.
Nice one.
No,
Not yet. Not yet.
it's going for it again.
Yeah.
But he's almost done.
Yeah.
Almost.
One last one.
Keep your head up. Second. Here he comes.
Yes. Well done, mate. Kenny boy again.
Yes!
Kenny the man. Kenny the slayer.
It is a good fish. I'm feeling great. Great. It's a good fish again. Oh my lord. Okay, gonna get it out of the water
mate.
and weigh it. Yes.
Now this is a great moment because Kenny's just landed a 20 kilo mirror, 44 pounder, and his family's just turned up as well. His young daughter, his young son, and they've not seen a carp like this ever before, have you guys? So you can hold it up then, mate.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at it. Share the moment. Great family moment. God. Go next to your dad. Go next to your dad.
Come here. Vanna, hier.
No. She don't want to be there. Okay.
Look at this.
Magical moment.
Stunning. Wil je hem aaien? Nee.
What a great moment for the guys. This is just awesome.
Oh, dat is gaaf. Nee, die is niet vies. Dat is een visje. Kijk, die blub. Kom maar aaien. Wow, good so.
Let's get a picture of you two.
So I'm gonna put the fish back, and this is a special moment with my family, and especially our family dog died 1 week ago. It was called Gio, so I'm gonna name this fish after him. So from this day it will swim around with the name Gio. Beautiful moment. I'm really thrilled. So happy. I'm gonna show it one more time, and then it can swim back. Look at this, mate.
Beautiful, mate.
There it goes. Oh yeah,
Right, we're over halfway through the trip now, and it's been pretty tough going because I have yet to have a bite. Now Kenny's landed two lovely fish. He's caught a 20 kilo and a 22 kilo. Really special fish as well from what he calls his baited spot. We'll discuss that in a minute, but we're at a spot today, Kenny, which is absolutely beautiful. Really quiet.
yeah. Really
Hardly
quiet.
anybody around, no anglers about, and we've seen fish. There's carp in the area, we've seen them cruising around, and we've also heard carp down here the other night. So we're not too far away from them. So what we've done is we fished it a couple of 3 nights ago, and then when we left, we baited it, went to another spot which we'd baited before, and now we're back at this spot. Is this your normal kind of approach on the canals, to bait a spot and then fish it
Yeah.
and stay mobile as well?
Yeah, I always try to bait a spot. It's really more productive for baiting a spot and try it on the second day or the third day to fish it, because the fish needs to be there, and sometimes they ain't there. They swim a lot from spot to spot, so I think that's the best approach here, to bait a spot and then go a couple of kilometers further, maybe bait a spot there too and fish it, and you can switch between the two spots here.
Now this spot where we are today, Kenny's not fished it for a few years, but he did fish it quite a bit a few years ago. Now he's got another spot which he calls his baited area, and this is an interesting point. It's definitely something worth noting if you're an English guy coming over here, because a lot of the local carp anglers have baited areas and they respect one another. So if you're an English guy to turn up and just start fishing, you need to be aware that there might be some local anglers that are baiting those spots. Now the guys in the local area respect you, and they know where is your baited spot, don't they? And you do the same with
Yeah,
those
we
guys.
do the same with each other.
Yeah.
We try to keep a little distance between each other so everybody can catch his fish. If you gonna sit next to each other, that's not good. Too many lines, too many pressure for the fish, and eventually nobody will catch. So we try to keep a little distance between each spot, and so everybody can catch a fish.
Yeah, it's like a respect thing.
Yeah.
You know, just like we respect one another in English carp fishing. This is a different type of fishing on these canals, because there are miles and miles of canals, aren't there?
Yeah, of
and
course.
some areas have got no anglers, and other areas have got quite a few anglers, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some areas has almost no fishermen on a few kilometers. On some other places there are more anglers, because there are those are places where you can see more fish, or are spots which are more attracted to the fish. But if you put effort in it, you can catch everywhere fish. That's my opinion. But you need to do effort for it.
And one of the things Kenny's talked to me about on this trip, which is it's fascinating, because you often hear anglers talking about rigs and bait and how important they are, and they are important. But I've always said this in my films, it's more about understanding the carp. And the longer you've been carp fishing, you start to understand things, you start to see patterns developing. And one of the things that Kenny talks about on his baited spot, the spot that we were at last night, where he's caught the 2 decent sized fish so far, he talks about some days not being productive and other days being productive. Like a Monday night is when you've not caught any carp at all, isn't it? On your baited spot. And you've done how many nights on that baited spot?
I did more than 50 nights and never caught a fish on a Monday. So I don't go fish on a Monday.
So which is the most productive night for you?
The most productive night is on a Wednesday.
Okay.
Wednesday is the best day in the night, yeah.
Okay, so some of you out there is probably thinking, what they're going on about? Try to explain to us now, Kenny, why you think those nights are more productive and why those nights are not very productive.
Yes, like I said, the fish need to be there, and the canals are so many kilometers, so the fish, they swim in groups, and they swim from one place to another. So I think on a Monday they swim to another area, and on a Wednesday they will swim back over my baiting spot, and then when there's bait and when I'm fishing, that's when I can catch them. But if they are on another side of the stretch, I can't catch them. If they're not there, I can't catch them. And I found during a lot of fishing and over the last couple of years, I found a pattern in it, that one day they are there, the other day not, the day after they're there. There's always one day in between when the fish are there and they are not there. So probably they swim, some groups will swim 50, 60 kilometers. Some groups will stay closer in the area and they will swim maybe 5 kilometers, and then they turn and then they swim back.
Yeah, so they basically go to something like, as an example, the lock gates, then they'll come back.
Yeah.
You know, and they're also moved about by the frequency of the boats, aren't they?
Yeah, of course. If there are no boats, the fish won't swim that much.
Yeah. You actually see, as the boats are coming, I was stood with Kenny the other day, and before we could even see a boat, he knew a boat was coming just by watching the current on the water and how it was moving in the opposite direction of what it should be moving. He started seeing the surface leaves going that way, but the flow was going that way.
Yeah.
So it's as the boat's coming down, and some of them were so deep in the water as well, really deep. They're really, how heavy was the one we just seen?
It was 1,150 tons.
Yeah.
So that's...
It's really deep in the water, really deep. You know, we're only fishing to a spot here now, which is maybe 10, 11 foot in water. And if you've got your rods out and you've got a back lid on, they're almost touching the deck, these boats, because they're that overloaded. And Kenny's told me about making sure you've got your rods in when a boat is coming, that it's really well loaded. And so far I've not been picked up, but this morning I was picked up because it was really, really deep in the water. So, you know, they're almost touching the bottom, these boats, and they're massive. They're moving wagons, they're moving cars, they're moving, it's giant things, isn't it? They're absolutely huge. So
it is.
Yeah, it's quite impressive to watch. So if they're moving that much water, then the fish are definitely going to be going with them as well, aren't they?
Yeah, they definitely are going with the boats.
Okay, so what we're doing tonight, guys, is we're just going to do another night on this spot, see what happens, and then tomorrow we're going to go back to your baited area.
Yeah, for a couple of days we're going to stay there, because Wednesday is a good night, Tuesday is 50% of the times a good day, so we need to be there on those days.
Yeah, so hopefully we shall end with a bang and maybe get a carp for Crowe, because I've not had one yet. Kenny's got two absolute beauties. I've not even had I've had a bleep actually. I had a bleep last night, but I knew it was not going to be easy, this canal fishing. I knew it wasn't going to be easy because there are canal networks all the way around Belgium, aren't there?
Yeah.
And it's known for being tough on a canal.
Yeah, so. It's tough. There are a lot of people who think, oh, I'm gonna fish the Kempisch Canal and I quickly gonna catch a fish, but it's not like that. It's like I said, you have to put a lot of effort in it. And I've fished these canals for 19 years now, so I found patterns in it, and I studied it, and I do about 220 nights a year. So after years and years, you start to see things, and if you add up all those things together, then sometimes you are very lucky, but not even for me. I don't get lucky every time I go fishing. So
it's effort, mate. And
it's effort.
And it's knowing the spots, knowing the patterns, which you definitely do. You know, me sitting here watching you fish this week has been really interesting, because I've learned an awful lot from watching how you approach the canals. It's not just simply putting the baits out. There's a lot more to it than that. Yeah. And even the boats, especially, you know, just getting around the boats. To me, they're just boats, but no, these are different boats. These are boats on this canal, which is just crazy. And seeing the patterns of the fish as well, it's all interesting stuff and tricky stuff. So you're not going to come over to the Kempisch Canal and start hauling loads of fish. There's another boat coming now. So anyway, I'm going to go and get my rods reeled in before I get wiped out. So anyway, nice one, Kenny, and hopefully I shall see you again real soon, hopefully with some carp.
With a fish for you.
With a fish. How about that for a backdrop then? That is absolutely gorgeous. Really nice. Got the little track there to the left. Parked right behind the bivvy. Nice and quiet. We were going to go to the sluice, but there was a couple of anglers in the sluice, so we've ended up coming here, which is, I think, even better because it's so nice here. Got all this bank with nobody around. And this particular canal is connected to the canal at Kenny's spot, so just shows you how large these canals are. So I've got two rods out, both down towards the left hand side here, because believe it or not, I've actually seen a carp, which is just great. Really boosted my confidence. Probably 14 kilos, something like that. Just, I can just show you, just somewhere up there. So I'm basically fishing my rods down to the left here and hoping that nobody comes and sets up next to me, because we do talk a little bit, we do make a bit of noise, and obviously on these canals you want to keep it as nice and quiet as you can. You can just see a boat coming in the distance. So I've got two rods, one this side of the canal, which is where I saw the fish, and then the other one just on the other side of the canal. So I just sort of fished down this sort of direction from where we are. Looking nice, looking good. Fingers crossed we can get off the mark. One of the rods I've got quite a bit of bait around, probably half a kilo of bait. I say quite a bit of bait. It's not a lot of bait, is it? Half a kilo. Half a kilo of bait, and then left-hand rod is just on a little bag with half a dozen freebies dotted around it. Not too far away from where I saw that fish earlier on, so. Yeah, God, you can see now the boat's coming down the canal at the moment. You can see it. There it is. And already the water has started to back up around here. This has been ever so slack for, well, since we got here. But then you've started to see these little eddies appearing here. Water not gushing through, but it's going through this little monk here. That's through just the pressure of that boat coming down the canal. So hopefully my rod's are going to be all right. as that boat comes down. Hopefully I'm not going to have to redo them. Hopefully they're not going to start bleeping and moving all over the place, so we'll see though, because they do create a bit of backwash, these boats do. But the good thing about a boat is it's obviously going to bring some carp with it, so lovely spot, lovely spot. Right, let's have a quick look at what Kenny's up to. What are you doing, mate? Chopping some baits?
Chopping some baits. Yep.
Yeah, ready for the evening.
Yeah.
Do you use a lot of bait when you're fishing or on the canals?
No, not really. I always pre-bait. So when I'm fishing, most of the times I use max a half a kilo per rod. So that's not so many baits, because more than half of it will get eaten by crayfish and some other small fish on the bottom.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's a lot of bait, no. But when I pre-bait a little bit more.
Yeah.
But when I'm on the water side and I'm going for my overnighter, then I want a quick bite.
Yeah. And I notice you've got some rigs down here as well.
Yeah.
Are these what you're using on the hook? This is what you're catching on?
Yeah, always.
Yeah. Do you want to give us a little talk through what they are?
Yeah, they are pretty easy rigs. They're just a D rig.
Yeah.
Pretty long one, 35 to 40 centimeters.
Yeah.
A D rig kicker and a micro ring swivel from Avid.
Okay.
And I always use a shot on the hook.
Yeah.
This with a curve shank. This is another type of hook. Yeah, they are pretty easy to use.
Yeah.
And to make, and they always do well. All the fish I caught in this session, they are nailed pretty good, so
Yeah.
I've lost a lot of trust in these rigs. Yeah.
So what about the hook bait then? You've got some shrink wrap around that, haven't you?
Yeah, I have some shrink wrap around it. It's a protection for the crayfish, and especially for we call it grundles. It's a small fish on the bottom,
Yeah.
but he eats your boilie completely away.
Yeah.
So I always wrap it, so I have something left on the hair.
Do you always fish with a topper, a bright topper?
Yes, this one I think this krill pop-up of Avid is really good. It's one of the best pop-ups I had in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm definitely using. Since it came out, I use it on one of my rods always, and it brings me a lot of fish. So I'm pretty confident in this setup.
I notice you've got quite long hook links as well. Is that something that you favour? Long hook links?
Yeah.
I mean, they must be 30 centimetres long, so maybe 12 inches.
35 to 40 centimeters they are. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I always prefer long hook links. I want, first of all, my bait is a long way from my lead. Second is when I always cast. So if it gets tangled, then I still have a normal rig to fish. But most important, the most important part is, on the canals the fish are moving a lot. They swim a lot, so they swim and they feed. So, in my opinion, the best thing for to fish a rig is a long rig on the canal.
Now, what size lead do you use? Because I notice you've got some big ones.
6 ounce, 170 grams.
Okay.
Yeah, always smaller doesn't work because of the boats. It will constantly move the leads.
Mm-hmm.
But 6 ounces, just good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just good, yeah.
Cool. I'll let you crack on. Thanks for the insight.
Yeah, I'm almost finished, so I can bait it, put some rigs on, and hopefully
Get a rod out.
get a rod out and not so many boats anymore, because it was a very busy boat day.
Yeah. under there is the third 40 pounder of the trip then. Kenny with a 42 common. Magnificent morning as well to catch a carp like that. Look at that. Mega scenes at the moment. This is a beautiful spot. Heard a few lumps jumping in the night as well, and then this one rattled off. I've lost a fish myself this morning, which I'm gutted about, my first bit of action, but this is what matters. The one's on the bank. Let's take a look at it. Right. This is a great way to end this film. We've had a fantastic, well, 10 days of fishing, and okay, it's been a massive struggle for myself. I've only had one bite and I've lost it, but Kenny has really shined through with some magnificent fish. This is a third one, third 40 pounder of the trip. What a great trip, mate. It's been fantastic being with you. Really enjoyed your company. Great seeing your family with the fish as well. Great memories. Wonderful, wonderful place Belgium is. So I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this lovely little film that we've put together on the Kempisch Canal. Yes. Feeding time!
Feeding time!
That's a private joke, by the way. Right, we're just going to go and see Kenny. His little lad Damien's with him, and he's been coming down most days to see if his dad's been catching some fish. He's been wishing me loads of luck whilst I've been here as well, and he's drawn me that mega picture. Is that of me and you?
Yes.
And that is your sister?
Yes.
Let's just. And what we holding?
A box of chocolate for you.
You brought me some chocolates as well, mate?
Yes.
Oh, bro, check it out. Now, this particular picture, it says at the top, feeding time. Because before I came out to Belgium, Kenny had sent me a little video where he'd been baiting his spot. And on this little video, Kenny had said, feeding time, in the video. So basically what I've been doing to Damien and his sister every time I've seen them, I've been saying, feeding time. And that is us fishing and eating pizza. But tonight we're going to be eating chocolates, aren't we, mate?
Yes.
Good man.
I have picked this chocolate and it is really yummy, I think. I never tried it because I don't...
Try it, eat it, you can eat it.
Oh, is it nice? Oh, yes.
Oh. Zo, doe maar dicht.
Feeding time!
Dat tastes good. That tastes. Oh.
Feeding time! Feeding time!